A judge telling the LAPD to cut back on its use of so-called less lethal weapons, if there is such a thing. Rubber bullets and other weapons were used during George Floyd protests in LA last spring. A 23-year-old black filmmaker filing a lawsuit against the department and his uncle, Eric Anderson, who happens to be an LAPD police officer. Jamal Shair Jr. saying his uncle, Officer Eric Anderson, directed other cops to use those foam projectiles on him. So let's take a look at the video.
Eric, you know what your daddy's saying right now? You know how your daddy feeling right now? That could have been you. That could have been you. And you spit his blood.
So Jamal and his attorney, Carl Douglas, both of them joining us from LA. And Jamal, first of all, what happened?
It was just a tragedy of everything that did happen. It was a passionate, back and forth between Eric and his office. The whole situation that was so about the entire world. We had just came off of witnessing what happened to George Floyd, how he literally got his life drained from him due to neglect by police officers. So for us all to be out there standing for that one purpose and to see your own blood opposing you was something that was filled with a lot of passion and hurt. So with our exchange back and forth, it ultimately led to me being shot by a projectile.
Now, Carl Douglas is his attorney. He's joining us as well. Mr. Douglas, what happened? I mean, they like to have you believe that, we use all these euphemisms, projectile, rubber bullet, foam, etc., non-lethal. What happened?
Well, there was certainly a breakdown of training at the very beginning. It's interesting, Dell, because I have been a civil rights lawyer for 42 years. And I've always heard one police officer say to another police officer, "You're not white, you're not black, you're blue." And I always thought that that was something taken with a grain of salt until this particular case. I call it a circumstance of being bluer than blood, because the brainwashing that this police officer sustained caused him to choose his badge over his own blood. And that reflects a breakdown which is in the warrior mentality that affects so many police departments across this nation of ours.
Jamal, you're a young filmmaker. You went there because you wanted to witness history. As a filmmaker, you wanted to take some pictures. Did you ever really think you'd wind up being caught in the crosshairs of police, not only police, but your uncle?
I didn't. That was never my intention. It was just something that, like you said, as a filmmaker, I wanted to be able to document in the best way I knew how. And then once I actually got down there, I was filled with all the passion and hurt and disbelief of everything that was going on. With me actually living in downtown, that was something completely different, something that I had never witnessed before and never had seen downtown anything like it. So I definitely never expected it to go that way, especially with it actually being my first time even being around or involved in any type of protest at all.
Sadly, Jamal, Carl can probably tell you as your attorney, what happened to you probably has happened to more black men than anybody in America knows. Jamal and Carl, thanks for being with us, and good luck with the suit, because we will be tracking it from here in Washington as well. You're watching the second hour of DC Today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.